First sighting. One time I was at a store with my mom. At the time, I really liked the movie series and book series Harry Potter. Although I didn't read the book series, I did read watch the movies. We bought a Harry Potter wand, which, by the way, every single time I get a toy Harry Potter wand, I don't get them anymore, but every single time I get one, they always get lost. Like the one in this story, I have no freaking clue where it is. Anyway, back to the story. And then we got in the car, I was playing around with my wand, and then we went to a restaurant. We were going to get chicken legs through the drive-thru. And I rolled down the window and pretended to cast a spell. It was the spell that summoned a Patronus in Harry Potter. If you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. And then suddenly, completely unrelated to the spell, I saw a scaly black dragon. I didn't see its whole body because it was sort of covered by some of the clouds, but it was huge. I think I saw 2 legs. It was completely black. Like the bottom of it was like a little bit more gray, but it was still pretty much black. And then it just sort of disappeared. Yeah, it went right above the clouds. Second sighting. Me and my mom were leaving a hotel, sort of. But no, not a hotel. I forget what it... Where did we go? Oh, right, a museum. After leaving the museum sort of place, I saw the same black dragon. It was nighttime as before, also. Who knows, it could have been the same one. I have no idea. It was on top of those big things. You know those big things that come out of the ground? I don't know what they're called, but it's a big, long thing that came out of the ground. It was on top of that, and as we were driving, it suddenly jumped off and began to fly. And that's pretty much it. That's all of that sighting. Third sighting. I was visiting some of my family's house, and they had a dog. The dog was outside laying down. I went out there to be with the dog. And then I looked at you see that their house is sort of surrounded by a foresty area. There's a ton of trees. And at those trees, I saw a huge dragon, bigger than any of the other dragons I've seen. It was like grayish, whitish. But actually, the second one I ever saw could have been the same size. I have no idea. The second one was far away. However, this one was very close, and it was just right there, looking at me and the dog. That's really all of that sighting. Werewolves. Sighting 1. I was playing with my friends, who, I'm not going to say their real name. Wait, actually, I will. They have their own channel, and I've said their name before on this channel, so... Yeah, her name was Charlie and Frankie. Yeah, there were 2 of them. Me and my sister were playing with them at our house, then it was time for them to go home. And then, when we opened the door and then for them to leave, they began walking away. I looked at my other friend's yard, who I can't say his name, so I'm going to call him Pencil. Yeah, I know, a very creative name. Yeah, there's a pencil right beside me. Alright, so the werewolf, it was on 4 legs, it was white, its eyes were glowing white. Like, it wasn't completely white, it was like a very darker white. It wasn't gray, but it was like a very dark white. And the very next day, it wasn't there. I was wondering who this werewolf could be. Then I remembered my friend Pencil. He had a ton of the werewolf features that people believed meant you were a werewolf in medieval times. Like he had long nails, like that was one of the things that meant you were a werewolf in medieval times. He had a lot of hair on his head, which is another thing of werewolves. He had a couple of werewolf things, and we tried to figure out if he was a werewolf. And I found out that if a werewolf holds salt, then they're probably going to die. However, of course, I also know the whole silver thing. But we found out that he wasn't the werewolf. However, here's a little thing about werewolves. The thing about silver, the things that mean you're a werewolf that people believed in medieval times, aren't actually true. And the salt thing, that as well. Werewolves are just people who turn into wolves at night. And actually this year, or maybe like close to the end of last year, it was a full moon. The clouds were covering the full moon though, and I heard someone screaming in pain. The werewolf transformation is meant to be pretty painful, so not sure what that was, but could be a werewolf attacking or transforming. Ghosts, sighting 1. So first off, here's a little fact about ghosts, also called spirits. Dogs, in some legends, can see ghosts. And you know when your dog just kind of looks at absolutely nothing? People say that it's looking at a ghost. So, first sighting. I was in my room. My dog just kept looking at the closet. He just kept looking. Story 2. Hi, this one's actually a bit creepier. So I was sitting on the couch playing on my tablet when my dog began to look at absolutely nothing. And at the time, and although I know that these apps don't really work and they lie, ghost detector apps. Yeah, I downloaded one, checked it, and it said there's a ghost right where my dog was looking. Yeah. Next we have SWs. The reason I'm calling them SWs and not... Guys, just as I was about to switch the whole picture thing, I just saw something moving in my room. There's like almost nothing there, but I saw something moving. I'll be making a part 2 tomorrow.